Welcome back to the Donstamp Podcast, man. I'm your host, Don Dada, Don Corleone, Don Juan, Don Cornelius, whatever you want to call me. And welcome back to the Donstamp Podcast. It's a great Friday. It feel good outside. Very hot. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really gonna do too much today, you know what I'm saying? We really chilling today. It ain't really nothing too crazy. You know, last episode I was just talking about living life, just focusing on your life, you know what I'm saying, having a good time. But you know what I'm saying? Today we just gonna chat about some chill stuff, some motivational stuff, same old little stuff, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna about to go too crazy in it, you know what I'm saying? I hope everybody having a great day, you know what I'm saying? So now we finna get into it. First topic of the day, just been some things on my mind. You have to prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. And what I mean by that, you know what I'm saying? We think so negative all the time that we always think about the worst. And ain't nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? I think about the worst possible outcome all the time. But at the same time, I always hope for the best. But ain't nothing wrong with, preparing for the worst. When you prepare for the worst, you know what I'm saying? You ready for every obstacle, every outcome that come at you, whether it's good, bad, whatever you want to call it. And hoping for the best means you know that there's a possibility that it still can go this way. But at the same time, preparing for the worst, it gives you like a little heads up, a little armor, like a knight's armor, you know what I'm saying? Just going prepared into your situations that you're going into. For example, you know what I'm saying? You can go into a crazy situation knowing like, okay, this either go really, really good or it can go really, really bad. But a lot of folks, they just go into it with the automatic, like just preparing for the worst. But, ain't nothing wrong with that at all, because I do it all the time. Like if something happens, I immediately think of the worst possible outcome. But at the same time, the good part about preparing for the worst is, sadly, if it does happen, hopefully it doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying, the outcome that you don't want to happen, you know what's going to happen by preparing for it, if you get what I'm saying. So when it hits, it doesn't really bother you or affect you like it would if you didn't know what really was going to happen. For example, bless you. I thought that was a sneeze, but for example, you know what I'm saying, you go to a car dealership, hope for the best car, but like due to your credit score, due to your finances, anything at the time, you can come out with this. And going into that, knowing that, it's just like, okay, I know at worst, this is probably the worst outcome. But I know at best, this is the best outcome. So when you know you got that established in your mind, it's kind of like, okay, in my opinion, it's kind of like a win-win, because it's like, okay, you already done gathered the facts about the bad outcome. And even if it happened, it's like, okay, I got that over with now. I already knew it was about to happen. Well, I ain't gonna say knew, but I already know it was a chance of it happening. So it kind of like, instead of getting all down and depressed and sad and just like, hurt about it, you can just be like, okay, I just learned from my mistakes. I just learned from my past, you know what I'm saying, obstacle. I just learned from some old stuff so I can learn how to gain, because in life, you don't really take L's, you really just take lessons all the time. You may say they're losses, but in my opinion, they're really lessons, because we're human. Who are we if we're not growing? If you're not growing as a person, you're not going the right way, because whether you got life figured out or not, in your eyes, you're not perfect. And there's still room to grow. There's still room to learn. There's still room to help people. And there's room to learn a bunch of stuff you didn't know. Because everybody don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by all this is like, you prepare yourself for the worst possible outcome, you almost can be indestructible. Because it's like, okay, I knew this was going to happen. It is what it is. I done got over it. I can't do nothing about it now. It's okay. I'm alive. I lived through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm surviving. I can live through this. But what I mean by when you got to hope for the best also, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that there's a bad possibility and knowing that there's a good possibility, when you get that best possible outcome, don't go do all the things that you were trying to stop doing. Don't go do all the things that could lead you to that bad outcome just to celebrate your good outcome. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to learn from my past mistakes. For example, I'll go to the gym. I'll be like a month inconsistent, start seeing gains. Next thing you know, I go right back to eating junk food. I go right back doing all the stuff that I had to put discipline in my life for it. And then I started losing my discipline when I get the stuff that I wanted. And I'm learning that when you get everything that you want, you can't go back into everything that you were doing bad. Cause it don't work like that. Hold on. But like I was saying, it don't work like that. Like everything good you do, you can't counter it with doing bad stuff and everything that you was trying to stop doing to get to that good outcome. Because it doesn't work like that, and then things gonna come back around. And if you do good stuff, of course you're gonna have a good outcome. If you do bad stuff, of course you're gonna have a bad outcome. But you can't celebrate the good stuff with doing all the bad stuff that you were trying to stop. It doesn't work like that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to learn the hard way. I used to be like, man, why all this happening to me? I was going so far in the right direction. And then I went right back, and I had to realize, well, when you got right there, you started doing everything that had you right here. You started doing all that again, and it don't work like that because you went from right here. You started slowly grasping that down to the bottom. And I'm letting y'all know you can't do that because it don't work like that. And a lot of people, they don't be understanding it. I used to didn't understand why it didn't go my way. And then I had to realize, like, man, I can't go, you know what I'm saying? I can't hit the $1 million shot and go get $1 drink. You know what I'm saying, Dre? You can't hit the $1 million shot and go get $1 drink, because if you grinding for the $1 million shot and you getting $10 drinks, $20 drinks, then you get to the top and you like, you know what? Let me go back to my old way. Let me celebrate with $1 drink. It don't work like that, because all that's gonna do is all the progress you make gonna go straight down like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay level-headed and disciplined. And then when you get everything that you hustle for, everything you pray for, remember this. You have to keep the discipline and you gotta stay consistent, because if you go right back to your old ways, everything that you were trying to get away from, everything you building from gonna come right back at you. And you know what I'm saying? I had to learn that the hard way myself. And I'm just letting you know, no matter how much temptation, how much, you want to do the bad stuff, just keep going at the level you going, and everything good is going to keep happening. Even when you get right there and you feel like you made it to your destination or your objective, just keep doing what you did to keep you there. Don't go swift back into your old way, because then it's going to become a pattern and you're going to have to go right back on your run. You know what I'm saying? And for a while, I've been about 25, about a week and a half, you know what I'm saying? I've just been soaking it all in. I feel my frontal lobe develop, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I just been thinking about lately, I just been thinking about my life, my friends, my family, my goals, my destination I want to be at in life, where I want to be at in 5 years. That, sometimes I don't really sit back and realize how blessed I am just to have the little things in life. Like, I don't go to sleep hungry at night. I got a roof over my head. I got a car that can get me from point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed enough to still come in here and give y'all content on the podcast. I can walk. I can talk. I can breathe. I'm not in jail. I'm not in the hospital. And I'm not in the grave. And I just been having to sit back realizing, like, man, I'm 25 years old. When I was a young kid, I used to be thinking, like, man, 25, I'm going to be rich. I'm being a mansion. I'm going to have all this and that. I'm going to be married. But life don't work like that. And when I'm realizing that 25 is, 25 is a golden, it's like golden age. I ain't that young, but I'm also not that old. And I don't got life figured out. You know what I'm saying? But that goes to show you, like, everything is okay. Like, for example, man, my whole life, I thought I was going to be playing football at this point in my life. I thought I was going to have a mansion. I thought I was going to be on the beaches. I thought I was going to have the car, the clothes, the money, the girls, all that. You know what I'm saying? Everything was still working out my favor in my own type of way. But that go back to show you, like, hey, my plan didn't work. And even when I wanted to, like, quit it, this and that, I'm like, man, my plan A didn't work, man. I just wanted to give it all up, not even try no more. I'm like, man, I didn't make it to the league. Like, what is life about at this point if I'm not making it to the league? Because if y'all don't know me, man, I love football to death, but life just taught me a lot of things. Like, okay, football didn't work out. I went to go get my degree. You know what I'm saying? One day I dream of being a sports reporter, a sideline reporter in the booth, on the field, you know what I'm saying, or on ESPN. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, if I keep working toward my goals and I stay consistent, I stay disciplined to what, I'm practicing my craft. But at the same time, I realized just because, you get the awards, you get everything you work for, don't mean you got to stop working at that point, because boom, I got my degree. I feel like when I got my degree, okay, I made it. I can just get a job. I can just wake up at the snap of the fingers. I can get a job. I can go do what I want to do. I'm going to have all the money, everything. It still don't work like that. I got home, you know what I'm saying? I realized, okay, I applied to everywhere where my major was working at, and you know what I'm saying? I'm still working on getting a job towards my field, but I still went and got me a job where I could still pay my bills. I could still handle what I do, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't job shaming nobody, cause everybody gotta do what they gotta do. But I had to grow up slowly that I had to realize no matter what job you got, no matter what field you doing, what you doing for your life, everything is gonna be all right. And I had to learn that just because I used to panic, like, man, I see somebody with a degree just like I got and they got the job I want. Why I don't got the job? I got more experience than them. I done did more things than them. But it don't work like that. And at the same time, a lot of people fail to realize, and I had to realize early that don't nobody owe you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. They don't owe you the shirt off their back. They don't owe you the shoes on their feet. They don't owe you respect. They don't owe you nothing. And one thing I'm learning is you got to go out there and get it yourself, bro. You got to go out there and get it yourself. Ain't nobody going to help you get that job. Ain't nobody going to help you get that car. Ain't nobody going to help you get your credit right. Ain't nobody going to help you. Ain't nobody gonna help you with your relationship. That's between you and the other person. I'm realizing, like, instead of putting the fault on everybody else or comparing myself to everybody else, I gotta worry about myself, because at the end of the day, who we truly want to be is in our control. If somebody wants me to be something, it ain't in their control. It's in my control. It can, you know what I'm saying? They can, influence me to do stuff, but it's still in my control whether I want to go do that or not. It's in my control whether I want to get up and go look for a job or not. It's in my control whether I want to go to work or not. It's in my control whether I want to get up out the bed or not and leave the house. Back to what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta just start controlling your life and realizing, like, ain't nobody coming to save you. You gotta get up. You gotta get up and go work. Everybody wants the glamours and the shine, but nobody wants to put in the hard work. You know what I'm saying? Even people you may not think is really doing hard work in their life or in their, you know what I'm saying, in their aspects. Everybody gotta hustle, everybody gotta work, and everybody gotta get them and go get what they want. Cause it ain't gonna just come to you. You know what I'm saying? There'd be a rare occasion. You know, some people might be born into it, some people might got handouts, but me personally, I'm not the type of person to accept no handout. Because number one, I don't like hearing about somebody saying they had to help me. Number two, I don't like hearing nobody say they had to help me. And number three, I don't like hearing nobody say they had to help me. I'd rather fail 100 times on my own instead of hearing somebody's mouth saying, oh, well, should listen to me. Oh, well, you remember when I helped you with this? Or, you know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather just fail 100 times, get knocked down 100 times. Then that one time I get up where I really want to get at, that's what it's going to make me feel the best instead of somebody just giving me a handout or somebody just helping me along the way. But don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with help because nobody's self-made. But at the same time, I don't want nobody to hold my hand. I don't want no handouts. I want it the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing the easy way. Cause what's the fun with getting it the easy way? When you get it the hard way, man, I'm trying to tell you, it feels so good when you start shining, man. And I ain't where I want to be at in life yet. I'm working towards that, but I'm just picking up things as I go. Like, I'm just learning, like, man, don't nobody owe you nothing. Nobody's coming to save you. If you want to get something, you got to get up and work. Cause how you want a chain, how you want a house, how you want a car, how you want this, how you want all that, and you don't want to work, you want to be lazy. And like I said in the last segment, even when you get there, you still gotta hustle and flow and work hard, bro, because like it don't come easy. It ain't finna just come off the tree. It ain't finna just fall off the sky. And you know what I'm saying? That's why you just gotta keep your head up, chest out, and keep grinding and flowing, you know what I'm saying? And just stay disciplined in your life. Because if you ain't got no discipline, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff you know you're not supposed to be doing gonna feel great to you. And of course, the good feeling only lasts a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds. Then you're gonna have all that other regret along the way. And I'm just letting you know, those little 5 seconds, them little 10 seconds, whatever satisfaction ain't worth your future just being torn down, or your future, or you just saying, man, I should have just stopped doing what I was doing. Maybe I'll be here. Could just start doing it now, bro. And I'm speaking all from past experiences, man. Like, I'm just learning this day by day. I had my day where I stopped being disciplined and I got to deal with the consequences. And I know, well, maybe if I would have stopped doing that, it wouldn't have been like this. And I deal with my own consequences. And like I said, it's better when you deal with everything yourself and not asking for nobody for help and not, you know what I'm saying, asking nobody to hold your hand and no handout because everything gonna teach you a life lesson. Ain't no such thing as losses in life when you're trying to be a great person. Cause every loss you take is really a lesson on how to get better on the next time you do something. Y'all ever notice how some people just swear they got you figured out? Like, they just predict everything you gonna do. They know everything you feel. They know everything you gonna say, and they know what type of person you are. I really dislike that, like, form of judgment with people, because deep down, no matter what we know about people, what we see about people, or what we heard about people, we truly don't know nobody. We really don't know people for sure. And I really said this in a past episode, but I'm really going, get back on it. But like, we really don't know people, and nobody really knows you other than you know yourself. And people make the mistake of thinking they know people, and then that's when things happen. For example, you may know somebody since they was a kid. They may have never even touched a fly. They may have never even skipped the line. They may have even read a red light or anything. And people swear like, okay, I got them figured out. They'll never do that. And then boom, you see them on the news. You go hear something bad about them, or you go hear something crazy about them. People be like, I didn't know he had that in him. I didn't know she had that in him. I didn't know she got down like that. I didn't know he got down like that. Back to what I'm saying. Stop thinking you know people and stop assuming you know the person, because you assume things about people that can really upset them, and then you're going to see a side of them you never seen. Or you assume things about people, it gives them a judgment of, well, they think they know everything about me. I might well not be around them. Like, it could really drag people away, because you can't assume you know somebody no matter what you know about them, what you heard about them, anything, because deep down, everybody's their own person. Everybody knows their self, and some people just hide their hand. They don't let you see everything. You know what I'm saying? But that's where a lot of people make the mistake at. Like, I know y'all hear all the time, he won't like that in high school. She won't like that in high school. I grew up with him. I grew up with her. They won't like that. How they gangster now? How they moving like this now? Maybe they won't. Maybe they was. Maybe they just won't show you. But at the same time, maybe they molded into that person. You don't know what they went through in those years to mold them to that person. You don't know what they've been through in those years to mold them to that person. You don't know what maybe you may have said something to that person to make them change. You don't know what's been said, what's been done. You don't know what's occurred with that person through them years or through them days, hours, anything. Anybody can change in a matter of a minute. But I go back to say that, like, stop underestimating people, because no matter what you think about somebody, they'll do it if they push to that edge. Like what Tupac be saying, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put somebody to that edge, like, there's a lot of people, you keep pushing them, they're going to snap, and they're not going to have that. Or either they're going to do it, or they're going to get somebody else that love them, care about them to go do it. Then there's a big old problem when, like I said, stop assuming you know people, because that can get you in a crazy, crazy, crazy situation. And in my honest opinion, I really feel like assumptions about people, or thinking you got somebody figured out, or thinking you know somebody, or you read somebody, can really get you hurt. Or it could just lead you in the wrong direction, because those are really those are really distractions, because they get us from our main focus on things. And at the same time, why are you so worried about how somebody's character is? At the end of the day, their character doesn't affect who you are, and they're not going to change their character just because of who you are. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, and they need to start realizing, like, man, anybody could do this. Anybody's capable of this. Anybody's capable of that. And I used to be one of them people who used to assume things about people. Then I realized, like, man, I can't assume that about them just because I heard about that. I can't assume that about them just because I know them. I can't assume that about them just because I'm looking at them, or I'm reading them, or I'm trying to figure them out. Because then they'll hit you with a wild card, and then you like, whoa, I didn't know they did all that. I didn't know they could do all that. But like, a bunch of those situations can be resolved if you don't assume nothing about nobody, you don't put nothing past nobody, and you don't ever underestimate nobody. Because I'm trying to tell you, as long as you worry about yourself, you ain't worried about nobody else, and you don't assume nothing about nobody else, or think nobody can't do nothing to you, that's when, you know what I'm saying, that's when you start moving smarter. Because you move knowing that everybody is capable of doing something, or, you know, if you put somebody to that edge, they could do this and that. It makes you move smarter, because it makes you really start treating people how you want to be treated. Because there's been plenty of time people assume things about me, or think they got me figured out, think they know me because of past situations, or just because they know me in general, or things they heard about me or seen about me. And then they get to really know me, or they be around me and they be like, whoa, I didn't know you really was like this. You know what I'm saying? But that just goes to show you, like, man, stop thinking you know people. Don't put nothing past nobody. And just start letting all those type of distractions take you, you know what I'm saying? Just start letting everything distract you, because that gets you off your main focus. Your main focus is you. And nobody knows you better than you know yourself. And you don't know nobody better than they know themselves. You know what I'm saying? So keep that a thought. You know? And back to what I was saying about me being 25, I remember a saying my granddaddy once taught me, that no matter what level of life you're at, no matter what you're doing, was it sports or your job, anything, there comes a point in time where you're stepping into the next level that you got to step your game up. If you get what I'm saying. What I mean by that is, like, so you get a new job, you get a better job. That means your work ethic got to get better. You got to go harder. You get promoted on your football team, you get pushed up to first or second team. That means you got to go harder in practice because you know everybody's watching. For example, if you have a kid, your whole life changed because you got to keep hustling harder because your kid's life depends on you. And what I mean by every level, it's like when you start taking steps forward and you start growing as a person, you got to like start shifting how you move. Not saying go turn on your day one, not saying go act brand new to everybody or nothing like that, but like you got to raise your game up a little bit more. Like you got to go harder, you got to hustle harder. Cause like I was saying in the last saying, everybody gets there. And then everybody starts going back to their old ways and they bring them back right down there. But people don't understand, when you get right there, you gotta turn it on up a little bit more. You gotta go even harder. You doing 10 reps, you gotta do 20. If you're taking 20 phone calls, you got to take 30. If you're doing 50 push-ups, you got to start doing 100. You know what I'm saying? And like I was saying, like, you got to just start keeping your game up. Like, you got to start putting your game up. You can't, like, you got to start, like, how can I say it? When you start building yourself up and start growing, you can't lower your guard and go back to the old things that you were doing. Because, for example, why was you doing it in the first place if your goal was to just get to where you want to go and then you just relaxing and going back to doing everything that you want to do? Because then you're going to end up in another situation where you got to go back you got to go back to grinding that hard. So instead of doing all that, why don't you just stay consistent and just keep grinding and realize when you start seeing progress and when you start seeing goals and achievements that you've been wanting to achieve by having the discipline in your life, that you got to understand that, okay, now it's time to take it up a notch. And a lot of people be scared to take it up a notch because they're so comfortable with doing what they're doing. You got to be okay with not being comfortable in doing what you're doing, because that's going to get the best out of you. And you know that, okay, if all else fails, I know what's going to happen. So when you raise your game up, you got to like stay keeping your game up. No matter what aspect you're doing in life, whether it's your job, sports, life, relationship, just being a better person, you gotta turn it up a notch when it comes to a point, because like, how are you gonna get better if you don't push yourself? If you don't have expectations for yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I had to do all that. Like, I had to learn. I used to think I was gonna be one of them top-notch guys in every aspect I did. Like, man, I'm chilling. I'm way ahead of them people. All the people that I was way ahead of, they kept grinding. They got to their point. And they kept going. Me, I got to the point I wanted to be at, and I started chilling. I started relaxing. Next thing you know, I look up, everything done passed by me. And now I'm at that point where I'm still trying to pick up on where I left off at and still trying to do even better than that. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to admit those type of thing. I learned from my mistakes. Like I say, no such thing as L. You just take lessons. And one of my biggest lessons was you got to turn things up a notch in life, man. You know, I'm starting to get to that point in life where I'm starting to understand why people mean money is the main cause of all the evil, however it goes. I don't know if I said it right, whatever. But I'm starting to realize that, you know, in good ways and bad ways, money could be used in good ways, money could be used in bad ways. But one thing I'm starting to realize with myself is, would you rather have fame or would you rather have money? And my answer, to be honest with you, is money. But a lot of people would rather have fame over money, and they're willing to do anything about it. or willing to do anything for it, which is what I mean. Money could be the main source of evil. It could also be the main source of good too. But what I mean by that is, ask yourself this. If somebody came to you and said, okay, I can give you $1 million in your hand, but you can't never go on Instagram or anything ever again, what would you do? Or you could have 1 million followers on Instagram and still go do what you want to do, but I'm not going to give you no money in your hand. Hopefully, I would think everybody would say, yeah, look, give me $1 million, give me the 1M right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of here. You ain't going to never see me again. But I'm learning nowadays that there's a lot of people that's going to do anything for money, and there's a lot of people that's going to do anything for fame. And me, I just hope I don't turn into nobody that just turn into one of them people that want to do stuff for fame, because that ain't me, bro. And a lot of people, they'll throw their morals out the way, everything they stand for, throw people under the bus, people they love, just for their little moments of fame. And they fame can get them some money in some bad ways and some good ways, you know what I'm saying? Either or. But what I said this for was, we value money so much that we don't realize it turns us into bad people. And I just hope that hopefully one day when I get the amount of money that I truly want, I don't turn into one of those people. And a lot of people don't even understand that the money can really change you. And don't get me wrong, the money can change you for good reasons too. Like if I get rich tonight, there will be signs, of course. I ain't sitting here like, hey, there will be signs, but I'm still gonna be the same me, you know what I'm saying? But there's some people, they go get a better job. They moving different. They can't hang with people no more. Oh, I got a better job. I gotta move different. They go join a certain group. They go get a new set of friends. Oh, I can't hang with y'all. I'm better than y'all now. They start, you know what I'm saying? They tax bracket might be different than yours. Oh, I can't hang with y'all. Y'all don't got enough money as me. I say all this to say, man, stop treating people like that. Stop thinking you better than the net just because of what your bank account got. And stop thinking you better than the net just because of the fame or clout you got. Because end of the day, we all bleed the same. We all breathe the same. And we all God's creation. And all that's not worth throwing out your morals, your respect, everything you done for people, everything people done for you just for your little seconds of fame, the money, whatever you want to, you know what I'm saying? Because all that ain't worth it, man. Just being yourself, being true to yourself, standing on what you stand on. And don't get me wrong, if that's really all your true colors, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's who you want to be. Hey, just be real with yourself. That's you. But me, over here, we all about positivity. We all about bettering ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, I get rich tonight, there's going to be signs. But I'm still coming here and give y'all the podcast, of course, because that's just me. I'd rather come rock out with y'all, you know what I'm saying, and throw all y'all away just because I got some money or I got some fame. I don't rock like that. And you know what I'm saying? You can ask anybody. All my good moments, I always had the same folks around me through my bad moments, you know what I'm saying? And no new friends like Drake be saying. But like I was saying, back to what I'm saying, you can't value fame and money over just regular human needs. Like you need your family, you need your friends, you need everything, and don't turn into somebody just because of the money and just because of the fame. That was another episode of the Donstamp Podcast. The last message I'm gonna send y'all for today is, you know what I'm saying? Just love yourself. Man, whether you're not who you really want to be right now, whether you're who you want to be, or you had to do some things, or you know what I'm saying, you had to create yourself, mold yourself into somebody you didn't truly want to be because of everything that happened, or you know what I'm saying, under circumstances you can't control, just love yourself, bro. Because life is so precious to not be loving ourselves. And we put so much time and energy in living life, doing things that we need to just start loving ourselves and spread the love to everybody else. Cause that little, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna love somebody if you don't love yourself? And how you gonna expect things from other people you don't love yourself or do the same things for yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I gotta put that into myself, cause I gotta practice what I preach, and I gotta start loving myself more, because I have my moments where I dislike things about myself. I dislike things that I've done or things that from my past, but all those don't define who I am. At the end of the day, I still love who I am, cause hey, I love being me. I won't want to be nobody else. The goods, the bads, the flaws, you know what I'm saying? The glamour, the glory. I love myself, and I won't want to be nobody other than myself. So once again, I appreciate y'all for rocking out with me. I love y'all, everybody that's been supporting with me, man. things slowly popping off soon. We're going to have more guests soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start leaving a questionnaire for everything you want to see, feedback, segments you want to see, anything else. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles play tomorrow night. Tune in. You know what I'm saying? Preseason, start up something great. You know what I'm saying? You heard it from me first. We winning the Super Bowl this year. Heard it from me first. You know what I'm saying? And hey, love yourself. Pray before you go to sleep. Make sure you get some breakfast this morning. Shout out my producer, Dre. Shout out Miss Tamika. Shout out 810 Studios. And we out.